The stakes could not be higher for Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum as she gears up for her first State of the Nation address this afternoon. Sheinbaum is facing mounting pressure from Washington right now after extraditing dozens of accused cartel members to the U.S. Sheinbaum insisting the move was made to protect Mexico's security, not just to answer Washington calls. Still, President Trump and others in Washington are turning up the heat and demanding Mexico do more on crime, drugs, and trade, and also threatening tariffs if they don't get results. NewsNation's Jorge Ventura is live for us in San Antonio with more on the delicate balance right now, Jorge, between Mexico's leader and trying to maintain peace with the U.S.
Hey, good morning, Marni. Well, for President Claudia Sheinbaum, she continues to face this enormous amount of pressure from the Trump administration to crack down on Mexican cartels. Many of those cartels have now been designated foreign terrorist organizations. And for President Claudia Sheinbaum, she's walking this tightrope between trying to convince the Trump administration that Mexico is doing enough to combat cartels while also attempting to maintain a tough posture when it comes to her Mexican citizens and saying that she will continue to defend Mexico's sovereignty and will not allow U.S. troops on the ground. Now, President Claudia Sheinbaum is set to deliver her first State of the Nation address later tonight with all eyes on her handling of cartels, fentanyl, and migrant smuggling. And that pressure from Washington to crack down on cartels only intensified in recent weeks. Remember, earlier this month, reports did indicate that President Trump directed the Pentagon to explore military options against drug cartels. Sheinbaum quickly rejecting that idea, saying, quote, "There's not going to be an invasion. That is ruled out." Now, days later, her government did send 26 accused high-level cartel operatives to the United States, bypassing normal legal extradition process. That makes 55 cartel figures transferred so far this year to United States officials. This is also including leaders linked to the Sinaloa cartel and Cartel Jalisco Nueva Generación. Now, Mexican officials say that these moves are aimed at showing Washington that they're serious. Still, Trump claimed credit, telling reporters, quote, "Mexico does what we tell them to do." Now, during her presidency, Sheinbaum has pointed to progress, saying that murders are down in Mexico, drug seizures are up, and illegal crossings at the U.S. border are nearly ground to a halt. But fentanyl is still reaching American communities, and U.S. officials complaining that Mexico isn't doing enough. Now, when it comes to her approval rating, she is soaring record high, sitting around 71%. But one of her weakest positions continues to be her handling of cartels in Mexico. Martin.
So watching for the address tonight, Jorge, meantime comes another test for Sheinbaum, and that's U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's visit. What is he pushing for ahead of those talks?
Yeah, this visit from Rubio is coming at an interesting time. He's set to visit Mexico this upcoming week. Rubio says that they're expected to sign what they're calling a binational security framework. And Rubio's office says that the focus in this meeting with President Claudia Sheinbaum will be on dismantling cartels, focus also on halting fentanyl traffic and stopping illegal immigration. Now, Mexican officials say they've already agreed on a framework that will allow intelligence sharing, but rules out U.S. troops on Mexican soil. Sheinbaum also stressing, quote, "We will never sign something that from our perspective violates our sovereignty or our territory. Never." But the pressure isn't just coming from the Trump administration. Even Texas Senator Ted Cruz is urging Mexico to copy El Salvador's hardline crackdown on gangs, saying that it would be far preferable to work together, but hinting that the U.S. could act alone if Mexico refuses. And this is all coming at a very interesting moment, Marni. Remember, the U.S. did deploy military assets to the waters of Latin America. So we're also itching at possible confrontation between drug traffickers in the waters of Latin America. And that, once again, has brought up the rumblings. Could we see U.S. troops on Mexican soil? We'll see if Marco Rubio and Claudia Sheinbaum do address that issue later this week, Mark.
All right. Thank you for the update, Jorge.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.